Zohar Beresheet 30-130. Let there be light means that everything that comes forth and emanates in the world proceeds according to the secret of the words, let there be light. Yehi alludes to the secret of Abba and Ima, which are Yud-Hey of Yehi, Yud-Hey Yud. The letter Yud alludes to Aba and the Hei to Ima. Afterward, the letters Yud-Hei return to the first point by adding another point, namely Yud, just like the first one, as it is written, Yehi, Yud-Hey Yud, to institute a beginning for an expansion of something else. The terms light and let there be light do not refer to the renewal of the light, but rather to the returning of the light that Aba and Ima already had. The expansion of this light that appears in the verse, let there be light, is a most hidden secret, because it was the expansion that split according to the secret of the concealment of the supernal and concealed air. The word of air consists of the letters Aleph, Vav, Yud, Resh, and is Arik Anpin. It was split in such a way that there is nothing really renewed in the name Yud-Hei Vav Hei. Rather, the perfection that was there before the splitting is now revealed. It first split and produced one concealed point from within its own mystery. It revealed the point Yud. As a result of this removal of the Yud from Avir, what is left of the original word Avir is Or, which is from the secret of the concealed air. When the first point, which is Yud, proceeded from Arik Anpin, its light shone upon it according to the sense of reaching yet not reaching. Once the point expanded, the light was revealed, and this is the secret of the Or, light, that has remained from Avir, air. This refers to the light that has existed at first in Bina, when It was in the head of Arik Anpin. It then disappeared when It came out of the head. Now It has returned to It and remains there. The light has gone, it has disappeared and is now hidden. And one point remains in Bina, where the light of Chachma always reaches in a hidden manner. The reaching yet not reaching shines in the manner of the first point that has emerged from it. As a result, they are all linked to one another and illuminate one another. When it ascends to the head of Arik Anpin, they all rise up and cling to it. Then it is as if reaching. It is treasured in the place of the endless light, which is Arik Anpin, and everything becomes one. The point that was in the light and transformed It into air is now completely light. It expanded, and from this expansion illuminated the 7 letters of the alphabet, which were not yet solid but were still moist. Later darkness came forth, and 7 other letters of the alphabet came out. The firmament then came forth and stopped the dispute between the two sides. In it there issued 8 other letters, which added up to 22 in all. 7 letters from the right side and 7 letters from the left side jumped on the firmament and were all engraved on it, where they remained moist. As the firmament congealed, so did the letters. They were engraved and assumed their intended shapes. And there the Torah was inscribed, referring to Zir Anpin, which is called the Torah, to shine outward on the lower beings. The phrase let there be light alludes to the name Great El according to the secret of he who issues from the primal air. Hence it is written, let there be Hebe, Yehi, implying the sphere of cheese of Zir Anpin called Great El. The phrase, and there was refers to the secret of the darkness that is called Elohim. And it is called light after the left was combined with the right because the name Elohim extends from the secret of the name El, which is cheesed. Thus, the name Elohim is the aspect of cheesed as well, and the right was included within the left and the left within the right. The verse, and Elohim saw the light, that it was good implies the central pillar of Zir Anpin, which is the Sfirah of Tiferet and It. The phrase that it was good, said about Tiferet, means that it shone up and down in all directions, namely to all the Sfirit, Netzach, Had, Yesod, and Malchet. Tiferet of Zir Anpin is the secret of the name Yud-Hey Vav Hey, which includes all directions, right and left, front and back, up and down. The words and Elohim divided the light mean that he prevented the dispute between right and left, so that everything may be perfect. And Elohim called. He asks, what is the meaning of an Elohim called the light day? He replies, this means that he called and invited it to bring forth from within that perfect light that stands in the middle, referring to Tiferet, one light. And this light is the foundation of the world, upon which all worlds are erected and from where all the souls are born. From this perfected light emerges the central pillar, the foundation of the life of the worlds, this being the day from the right side. The words and the darkness he called night mean that he called and invited it, bringing forth one female from within the left side, the secret of darkness. This female principle is the secret of the moon that governs at night. For this reason, it is called night. And this is the secret of the name Adonai, and the name the Master of all the earth. The right enters into that perfected pillar in the middle, where it is included with the secret of the left, namely, Chesed of Zir Anpin, which also includes his Gvura and enters his central column, which is Tiferet. Then Zir Anpin rises up to the primal point, which is Eric Anpin, and takes and possesses there, in Eric Anpin, Mochin, which are a thing based on the secret of the three vowels, Chalem, Shurik, and Chirik, which are called holy seed. For no seed can be sown for the purpose of the Mochin except according to this secret. All, referring to the illumination of the three vowels, were united in the central pillar, which is Tiferet, and it emanated the foundation, Yesod, of the world. Because of this, Yesod is called all, because it holds on to all, namely the illumination of all three columns by the light of passion. In other words, because of the desire of the left for the light of the right, Yesod reconciles the left with the right and unites them. And because the central column acquires them, that column attains both of them and bestows them both on Yesod. The left is set ablaze by the force of might and smells. It smelled throughout the grades, and from the glow of this fire it emanates the female principle called moon. This blazing is considered to be darkness, because it extends from darkness. And these two sides, the right and the left, produce these two grades, one male and one female, because Yesod, which is male, emanated from the rule of the right of Zir Anpin. The female principle emanates from the left column of Zir Anpin. Yesod holds onto the central pillar and receives the additional light that was in it. This refers to the light of Chachma, which is an additional light for Zir Anpin. The central pillar, Zir Anpin, is entirely complete by Chachma and by Chassidim, because of the peace he brought to all sides. Thus it has received additional light, Machin, from above, namely from Eric Anpin, which is Chachma, and from all sides, namely from the right and left. From its own central column, it has achieved Chassidim and Vurit, and the joy of all the worlds is in it. This is the secret of the illumination of Chachma that eliminates all the Klippot. And from this additional of gaiety, the foundation, Yesod, of the world issued and is called an addition. From here, Yesod, all the lower powers, spirits and holy souls of the righteous, come out according to the secret of the sacred names, Yud He Vav He Tzveo, which means that he is a sign that appears in all his hosts. He is also called El, the Elohim of the spirits, from whom all the spirits and souls of the righteous emanate. The night, master of all earth, is the female principle. She emanates from the left side, from that darkness, because the entire desire of that darkness was to be included within the right column and receive light. Its power was weakened. When night began to expand from the left before its structure was completed, the darkness, namely the left column, entered and merged with the right column, and the right held onto it. Night then was left lacking at its end, because its source, which is the left column, disappeared in the right column, and did not help it reach completion. So now there are two things lacking in the female principle. 1, the aspect of the night, meaning darkness instead of light, and 2, her structure was not completed by the left. Just as darkness, which is the left, desires to be included within the light of the right column, so the female principle, which is night, desires to be included within day. Darkness, which is the left column, abated its light, because it had not yet completed the structure of the female principle. Because of this, it produced the grade of the female with an incomplete structure and without light, namely with the two aforementioned defects. Therefore, the female principle required two reforms: 1, to bring her light and free her from her darkness, and 2, to complete her structure. Darkness, the left column, cannot illuminate unless it merges with the light of the right. And the same applies to the night, which is constructed in the left and emerges from it. It does not show any light unless it merges with the day, Yesod. The defect of the structure of the night is not completed until the Musaf, additional prayer, which is the additional light that Yesod has received from the central column, namely, the excessive illumination of Chachma and Zir Anpin. And this additional light completes the structure of the female principle. So what was added to one place is diminished in another. This means that what was added to the Sfirah of Yesod of Zir Anpin by the central column, the left column of Zir Anpin, has caused a diminution and lack in the female principle. But Yesod fills up this lack with its additional light. The Musaf, which is Yesod of Zir Anpin, contains the secret of the supernal point, which is Eric Anpin, and the secret of the central pillar, which is Tiferet of Zir Anpin that reconciles all sides. Because of this, 2 letters were added to Yesod, which are Vav and Yud, in the phrase, and Elohim called the light day, in which the letter Vav alludes to the light of Chassidim that it received from the central column, and the Yud to the light of Chachma that it received from Eric Anpin. In the emanation on the female principle, which is night, these 2 letters were missing. So of her it is written Kara, without the Vav and Yud. Of the day, which is Yesod, it is written Vekra. He subtracted, in the female principle, the letters Vav and Yud from Vekra, and so it is written of her only he called Kara, night. Here lies the secret of the name with the 72 letters that are inscribed in the supernal crown, referring to the secret of the letters Vav and Yud. 3 distinct spiritual energy forces permeate all existence. Using the language of metaphor, the Zohar identifies these 3 forces as right, left, and central columns. Right correlates to the positive plus force, which manifests physically as the proton. Left signifies the negative charge, manifesting as the electron. Central is expressed through the neutron, the force that bridges the positive and negative poles. Just as the filament in a light bulb creates the resistance that generates light, the central column corresponds to the cosmic force of resistance, the firmament whose resistance produces illumination. Even sunlight striking a physical object requires reflection in order to generate luminous energy. This model for arousing both spiritual and physical light is mirrored within ourselves. Our left side corresponds to the negative pole and to our desire to receive. The right side signifies the positive pole, plus the will to share that resides in our soul. Our hearts and minds correspond to the central aspect. This is our free will, whereby we can choose to resist the desire to receive and nurture the desire to share. This is the choice that arouses spiritual light. This section of the Zohar fills us with the power to resist our selfish desires. It strengthens our central column, which is our own free will. We are blessed with the ability to create unity between opposite forces in our lives. We can become a bridge between opposing sides, and by so doing we can help to resolve conflict and confrontation. Kabbalah teaches that disunity among people is the source of all hatred and violence, regardless of who is right or wrong. And Elohim said, "Let there be a firmament in the midst of the waters." This phrase alludes to a detailed reform of the separation of the upper from the lower waters according to the secret of the left. Here, the dispute according to the secret of the left occurred. Until this point, referring to the first day, reference is made to the right. But on the second day, reference is to the secret of the governing of the left. Because of this, a great dispute broke out on the second day between the 2 sides. The left wanted to cancel the governing power of the right entirely, while the right wanted to cancel the governing power of the left entirely. The right, which is the secret of Chesed, and the first day, is the perfection of all. Because of this, everything was written in the right on the first day. This means that all the 7 days, which are the 7 Sefirot, emerge from it and are hinted in it, because every perfection depends on the right side. When the rule of the left was aroused, its dispute with the right began, and the fire of anger in that dispute became fierce. From this dispute, Gehinnom was created. So Gehinnom was awakened and created by the left and cleaved to it, which means that whoever wants to strengthen the left shall fall into Gehinnom, which originates from it. In his wisdom, Moses looked into this and learned about the work of creation. In the work of creation, there was a dispute between the left and the right. And in that dispute, which the left provoked, Gehinnom was created and Gehinnom held on to the left. The central pillar, which is Tiferet, entered between them on the 3rd day, ending the dispute and bringing the 2 sides to an agreement. So Gehinnom removed itself from the left and descended below. The left joined the right, and there was peace everywhere. A similar dispute occurred between Korah and Aaron, the left against the right. Moses studied the creation and said, "I am one who is able to eliminate the dispute between right and left." Moses tried his best to reconcile them, but the left did not want to be reconciled. So Korah became stronger and overcame Aaron. Moses said, "Assuredly, because of the power of the disagreement of the left, Gehinnom should cling to it, just as it was in the works of creation." Korah did not wish to be attached above, namely to the structure of holiness, and join the right, like the left on high. So assuredly, he shall descend below, down into Gehinnom, because of the fierceness of his anger. As happened in the works of creation, Gehinnom came out and cleaved to the left. Moses knew that with the strength of Korah's anger, Korah would descend to Gehinnom and be attached to it. Because of this, Korah did not want Moses to settle this dispute, since it was not for heaven's sake, with pure intentions. He had no respect for the celestial glory, which is the Shekinah, and refused to acknowledge the work of creation. This means that he denied the settlement of the central column. In the work of creation, he wanted only the left to govern. As soon as Moses realized that he was denying the work of creation and being rejected out of holiness, Moses was much angered. And Moses was much angered because Korah and his company refused to acknowledge him and did not allow him to settle the dispute. It is written much because they denied the acknowledgement of the work of creation. So Korah denied everything above in Zir Anpin and below in the souls, as it is written, when they strove against Hashem, which is the secret of Zir Anpin, for the damage that he did reached both above to Zir Anpin and below to Moses. Therefore Korah cleaved unto what he deserved. He reached Gehenna, as written, they went down alive into Sheol. Another dispute was settled like above. A dispute that rose and did not come down, and was based on decency, was that between Shammai and Hillel. Shammai was the aspect of the left on high, while Hillel was the aspect of the supernal right. And the Holy One, blessed be he, intervened between them and approved of them. This means that the differences and arguments between Shammai and Hillel reached them from the central column of above, which is the secret of the Holy One, blessed be he. This was a dispute for the sake, name, of heaven and the heavens. Zir Anpin reconciled this dispute to establish both. Because of this, their illuminations continue to exist. This dispute is like the work of creation. It is similar to what the central column achieved for the sake of establishing the work of creation. But Korah denied the establishing of the work of creation, and the dispute was toward the heavens, namely Zir Anpin, that is, the reconciling column. And he wanted to deny the principles of the Torah, which is Zir Anpin. Assuredly, this dispute and denial was the result of the efforts of Gehenna, and its power of judgment cleaved to Korah and he to it. Thus he fell into Gehenna. This secret appears in the book of Adam. When darkness was aroused to take control, it emerged in all its might and created Gehenna within it, and Gehenna cleaved to it in that dispute. As the anger and the might of the Gvurat were calmed down, the dispute was aroused in a different manner, as a dispute of love. There were two kinds of disputes, one at the beginning and one at the end. This is the path of the righteous, which is hard in the beginning, because it is full of suffering, but ends in peace. Korach, being the left, was the beginning of the dispute between the right and the left, which was full of anger and fierceness. Each wanted to diminish the illumination of its neighbor. From this, Gehenna emerged and Korach cleaved to Gehenna. Shammai was also the aspect of the left, but at the end of the dispute between the right and the left, when anger was forgotten and the dispute of love was set in motion so as to receive approval from the heavens, which is the column that settles the dispute. This is the secret of the verse, let there be a firmament in the midst of the waters, and let it divide. This is the first dispute, aroused by anger and force, in which each wanted to overcome and annul its neighbor. The Holy One, blessed be he, wished to nullify the dispute, and Gehenna was aroused until the anger and aggressiveness cooled down. Then it is written, and Elohim made the firmament and divided. This division is the dispute, carried with love and friendship, which supports the world. According to this secret, namely through the dispute of love, is carried the dispute between Shammai and Hillel, namely the dividing of, and Elohim made the firmament, at the end of the dispute. On the other hand, the dispute of Korah was one of anger, which is the dividing of let there be a firmament in the midst of the waters, at the beginning of the dispute. So the dispute of Shammai and Hillel was for the sake of heaven, in which the oral Torah, which is the secret of the female principle, entered with love into the written Torah, which is Zir Anpin and called heaven. And they were in perfect union. Division certainly applies to the left alone, as is written in relation to the second day, and let it divide. Ibid. 6. While of Korah it is written, is it but a small thing to you, that the Elohim of Yisrael has separated you? It is also written, at that time Hashem separated the tribe of Levi. So, assuredly the separation appears only in the second day in the place of the left. You may ask, if division occurs definitely on the second day, why then is the separation mentioned about Levi, who is the third son of Jacob? It should have been associated with Simon, who is the second son of Jacob. The answer is that although Levi is the third son, according to Jacob's mind he is the second, because Reuben is not considered the first son of Leah, as at the time Jacob thought she was Rachel. So the separation is forever in the second, because after the division has occurred in the second, everything goes smoothly along the straight path in a perfect way, as it should do. This is because by the separation, the lights enclose each other and are completed by each other. The Havdalah, prayer of separation that is performed at the end of Shabbat, is for the purpose of separating those powers that are dominant during the days of the week from holiness that is dominant during Shabbat. With the ending of Shabbat, one aspect of Gehenna appears. It is the evil eye that desires to govern the world, just as the children of Yisrael recite, "O prosper it, the work of our hands." It emerges from that grade of the other side, which is called the left, and wishes to mingle with the seed of Yisrael by taking control over the Holy Covenant and having power to punish Yisrael. While the children of Yisrael perform an action, a precept, using the myrtle and the wine and recite the Havdalah, the other side departs from them. That side is lowered and enters into its place in Sheol, in the place where Korah and his company are, as it is written, "They, and all that appertain to them, went down alive into Sheol." So Korah and his company did not go down to Gehenna until Yisrael separated from them. As it is written, "Separate yourselves from among this congregation." Here as well, the other side does not go to Gehenna at the ending of Shabbat before Yisrael performs the Havdalah. So the separation is always on the second day, which is the left column. This refers to what has already been explained, that even the Havdalah at the ending of Shabbat is intended to separate the other side that extends from the left column. It was at the beginning of the dispute, which was aroused by the aggressiveness and anger of the left before it was calmed down and quieted, that Gehenna was created. Then were created all these angels that denounce before the Holy One, blessed be he, their master above, the secret of the central column. They disagree with his reconciliation and deviate to the left. Therefore, fire burns them up and they are consumed. And the other angels, all those who are annulled and have no support, are burned in the fire. All these have come from the power of the fire of the dispute in the beginning on the second day. Similarly, Korah fell down into Gehenna and burned, just like those angels who burned in the fire of Nahar Dinur, English meaning river of fire. And everything follows the same manner, extending from the beginning of this dispute with the fire of anger. Let there be a firmament, tells us that an expansion has occurred between the two. The lower waters expanded and were separated from the upper waters, and the upper waters expanded and were separated from the lower waters by the firmament. The letters El, Aleph lamed, in the name Elohim, Aleph lamed He Yud Mem, from the firmament up are of the right part. In other words, El always alludes to the name of Chesed, which is the right side. The name Great El has expanded from within the waters and is separated from them. This means that, because of the firmament, the name Great El has spread upward and has separated itself from the other waters, namely the three letters He Yud Mem. This was to complete the name El and to include the upper and lower waters within each other through that expansion. And the name El of Elohim expanded, leaving only the three letters He Yud Mem. He Yud Mem then expanded down below the firmament and became the lower waters Yud He. This is the expansion into the second one, that is, Hei Yud Mem into Yud Mem He. The upper waters are He Yud Mem, as written, so is this great and wide sea. Thus, He Yud Mem are the upper waters. If the letters He Yud Mem are in reversed order, that is, Yud Mem He, this indicates they are lower waters. Once the letters Yud Mem He were restored, they ascended and rose above the firmament and joined the name Great El and returned to the combination of the Great Sea, Hebi, Hayam, which was He Yud Mem. Then everyone, El and He Yud Mem were united as one, resulting in one name, Elohim. And this name Elohim reached into many places. The upper waters are male, the lower waters are female. At first, before they were firmly established, they were mixed, but were later separated to distinguish the upper waters from the lower waters. And to differentiate them, one is called Elohim, which is Binah, and the other is called Adonai, which is Malchet. One is the upper He of the name Yud Hei Vav Hei, which is Binah, and the other is the lower He of the name Yud Hei Vav Hei, which is Malchet. It is then written about them, and Elohim made the firmament. This expansion assumed the name Elohim, for the verse and Elohim made indicates that the expansion of He Yud Mem returned back to El and merged into the name Elohim and the upper waters. For the name Elohim is the upper waters and the name Adonai, the female principle of Zir Anpin, is the female waters. Nevertheless, since the male waters, or the letters He Yud Mem, were completed only by the female waters, namely, the female principle of Zir Anpin, the name Elohim expanded everywhere, including the female waters. Although, on the second day, the upper and lower waters were divided, the dispute between the right and the left, which are the letters Aleph Lamed and Hei Yud Mem, did not cease until the third day, which is Tiferet. The third day settled the dispute between the right and the left, as the two columns, Aleph Lamed and Hei Yud Mem, enclosed each other, and both were established properly in their places. Because of this dispute, even though the world exists upon it, it is not written, "It was good about the second day," because the work was not yet completed on that day. So the upper and lower waters were mingled together as one, and there was no offspring in the world until they were divided in two and distinguished as separate from each other. Only then did they bring forth offspring. Although the separation of the lower waters from the upper waters occurred on the second day, the dispute between El, which is the right, and Hei Yud Mem, which is the left, was unresolved. Only the third day reconciled between them. Both became equal and joined them into the one name Elohim. The third day, which is Zir Anpin, is the name upon which is engraved He Vav He, to make the upper waters, Bina, equal to the lower waters, Malchet. Because the letters He Vav He are the secret of the two He's with Vav between them, the upper He is Bina, and the lower He is Malchet. The Vav in between is Zir Anpin, and it completes and illuminates both sides, above in Bina and below in Malchet. This was signified by the splitting of the waters of the Jordan, where the upper waters rose in a heap and did not flow down into the Dead Sea. This is the secret of the upper Hei of the name Yud Hei Vav Hei, namely Bina. On the other hand, the lower waters, which are the secret of the lower Hei, Malchet, flowed down into the Dead Sea, which is the secret of the lower Hei, Malchet. And Yisrael, the secret of the letter Vav, went in the middle between the upper waters and the lower waters of the Jordan. Thus Yisrael, the secret of the Vav of Yud Hei Vav Hei, received the abundance from the upper Hei and bestowed it upon the lower Hei. Firmament is mentioned 5 times on the second day, and the life of the worlds, which is Yesod of Zir Anpin, passes through them and guides the worlds through them. They all are comprised of one another. Had the central column not settled the dispute, neither would have included the other nor be harmonized. These 5 firmaments are equivalent to the 500 years to which the tree of life, which is Zir Anpin, is attached to produce offspring and fruits in the world. All the waters of creation, namely the kinds of motion that flow out from Beresheet, which is Eric Anpin, are divided under it and through it into the upper waters and the lower waters. King David, Who is the secret of the female principle, receives everything from Zir Anpin. He then distributes it down to the lower worlds of Briah, Yetzirah, and Asiah, as it is written. And he distributed among all the people, among the whole multitude. It is also written, "You give it to them, they gather it, and she rises also while it is yet night, and gives food." When disagreement was aroused through the fierceness of the left, the mist of fire increased and became overpowering. The spirits produced from within that mist immediately congealed. They became dry and without any moisture. These spirits, which were male and female, produced a multitude of evil spirits. From this, all the might of the impure spirit appeared in all those strong spirits. This is the secret of the clip of the foreskin. These spirits were strengthened in impurity through the violent demons. One is called a viper and the other a serpent, and these two kinds become one. The viper bears offspring every 70 years, while the serpent only every 7 years. But as they are joined together, everything returned to the 7 years of the serpent. Therefore, the viper begets every 7 years like the serpent, and they become as if one species. From herein lies the secret of Gehenna, which has 7 names, and the evil inclination, which also has 7 names. From here, impurity expands and spreads out in many grades into the world. And everything comes from the principle of the left, which contains good and evil and thereby makes the world habitable. From here is the secret of the holy name that is engraved by 18 letters and is responsible for the bountiful rains that feed the earth, for human charity, for all our blessings, and for the general inhabitation of this world. Here the Zohar speaks about the dimension, or sphera, called Yesod. This is an immense reservoir that resides just above our physical dimension. All the upper worlds, or spherit, fill Yesod with their unique spiritual forces, where they are blended and prepared for transfer. Like a cosmic pipeline, Yesod then funnels all this light into our world, which is called Malchet. We can arouse a great amount of light in the upper worlds through our actions, but unless the floodgates of Yesod are opened, the light can never reach our realm. The Aramaic passages that illustrate this procedure strengthen our personal connection to Yesod. They help us to open the pipeline from the upper worlds. And Elohim said, "Let the waters be gathered." The words "be gathered" mean that the Mochin called the waters will travel in a straight line on one level, without spreading to the right or left. Everything flows mysteriously from the secret of that primal point, which is Eric Anpin, until the light reaches and is gathered in the supernal chamber. From there it then flows in a straight line to the other grades, namely to Zir Anpin, until it reaches that one place where everything is gathered according to the secret of male and female. He asks, "And what is that place?" He replied, "This is the life of the worlds, namely Yesod of Zir Anpin, which is the male Who is united with Malchet, which is the female principle. Thus, it comprises male and female together. The waters mentioned in the verse flow from above, from the upper hay of the Yud Hei Vav Hei, which is Yisrael, Saba, and Tavuna. The words under the heaven allude to small Vav, which is Yesod of Zir Anpin. Zir Anpin is called Great Vav, while his Yesod is called Small Vav. Therefore, when the letter Vav is pronounced, two Vaves are heard. The first one is heaven, namely Zir Anpin, and the second one is under the heaven, namely Yesod of Zir Anpin. After the Mochin are drawn from the upper Hei, which is Bina, down under the heaven, which is Yesod of Zir Anpin, it is written, "And let the dry land appear." This is the lower hay, namely Malchet, the female principle of Zir Anpin, because only she was revealed as dry land, while all the other grades were hidden. From within that last grade, referring to the lower Hei, Malchet, that light that was concealed was heard and revealed. The phrase "to one place" is called Yesod, because there is a connection to the union of the upper world through Yesod. The verse, "Hashem shall be one, and his name one," hints at two unions. One is the upper world that is unified in its own grades, which is the secret of Hashem is one, and the second is the lower world that is unified in its own grades, according to the secret, and his name one. The unification of the upper world by the secret of Hashem is one is up to Yesod. The life of the worlds, which is Yesod, is sweetened in Bina, and the upper world is connected to its unification. Because of this, it is called to one place, as all the grades and all the parts gather there, and they become as one in it, without any separation at all. No grade unites their wholly save this grade, in which all the lights are mysteriously covered in one desire. Up to this point, referring to the words, "And let the dry land appear," the revealed world, which is the secret of Rachel, is unified with the concealed world, which is Leah. The revealed world, which is Rachel, the female principle of Zir Anpin that is located from his chest downward, is similarly unified below. The revealed world is the lower world, as can be proven by reading the scriptures, where it is described in terms of seeing. "I saw Hashem, and they saw the Elohim of Yisrael, and the glory of Hashem appeared, and as the appearance of the rainbow, so was the appearance of the brightness round about." This was the appearance of the likeness of the glory of Hashem. And it is known that the lower female principle, which is called Rachel, is described by the words, "glory of Hashem," and by the particle et, the. This is the secret of the verse, "Let the dry land appear," literally be seen, because seeing applies only to the revealed world and not to the upper world. The verse, "as the appearance of the rainbow," which is written about the divine chariot of Yechezkel, alludes to the life of the worlds, namely Yesod of Zir Anpin. Therefore, it is written in the portion of Noah, "I have set my rainbow in the cloud," which also alludes to Yesod of Zir Anpin. Who is called the life of the worlds. The phrase "in the cloud" refers to Malchet, namely, the lower female principle of Zir Anpin, the revealed world of Rachel. The words "I have set" mean that he has set his rainbow in the cloud ever since the day of creation. That cloudy day, which is described in the verse, "And it shall come to pass, when I bring a cloud," indicates that only then shall the rainbow be seen according to the secret of the appearance of the likeness of the glory of Hashem, and not at any other time. Why is this so? As the left is aroused, Rachel emerges to her own aspect, and she had hard labor. Therefore it is said that 3 angels stay by her side, Michael at one side, the right side, Raphael at one side, in the middle, and Gabriel at one side, the left side. And from them she receives her strength to give birth. These three aspects are the colors seen in the form of the rainbow: white, red, and green. The phrase "so" was the appearance of the brightness roundabout alludes to the illumination that was concealed and has disappeared within the pupil of the eye. So the phrase, "this was the appearance of the likeness of the glory of Hashem," applies to the colors in the appearance of the rainbow and not to the appearance of the brightness. This is because the lower union of the three colors of the rainbow corresponds with the upper union. The three names Hashem are Elohim, Hashem, which appear in the verse, "Hear, O Yisrael," allude to the three colors, white, red, and green, when they are concealed, invisible, and attached to one place. This is the secret of the first union in the upper world that is called one place, and the colors united in the rainbow below, which are white, red, and green, correspond to the three concealed colors of the upper union. Hashem are Elohim Hashem. These colors of the rainbow belong to another union, which is the secret of, and his name one, the lower union. It is the secret of the verse, "Blessed be the name of the glory of his kingdom forever and ever," that we respond after "Hear, O Yisrael," which is the lower union. The upper union indicated by the verse, "Hear, O Yisrael, Hashem are Elohim." Hashem is one corresponds to the lower union. "Blessed be the name of the glory of his kingdom forever and ever." Each verse contains 6 words. The words "be gathered" suggest measurement by the line and the measuring. Measuring is from the hard spark that is in Binah, as it is written, "Who has measured the waters in the hollow of his hand." In this verse, WHO alludes to Binah. This is what is meant by, "Let the waters be gathered." Here in the verse, "Let the waters be gathered" is the extent of the entire machin of he who forms the worlds, namely Zir Anpin, and which is hinted at in the name Yud Hei Vav Hei, fully spelled with alephs as Yud Vav Dalet Hey Aleph, Vav Aleph Vav Hey Aleph. Holy, holy, holy is the secret of the machin of Binah, which is also the secret of the verse, "Let the waters be gathered." The phrase Hashem Tzveot is the secret of the verse, "to one place," Yesod of Zir Anpin, that is called the life of the worlds, to which the machin from Binah flow according to the secret of the phrase, "to one place." The phrase, "the whole earth is full of his glory," is the secret of the verse, and "let the dry land appear." This verse is the secret of the lower Hei, called the revealed world when comprised within the union of the upper world. The words "and let the dry land appear" are the secret of the engraved name of the union of Kaf Vav Zayin Vav, Bet Mem Vav Kaf Samech Zayin, and Kaf Vav Zayin Vav, because the dry land, which is the revealed world, is included in the union of the supernal world, which is the secret of Hashem our Elohim, Hashem. The verse "let the earth bring forth grass" is a code that signifies the bringing down of souls into our physical world. The Zohar discusses a vast system of angels that form a communication network through which positive and negative influences travel. This network acts as an interface between the physical world and the upper worlds. Everything in the physical world is governed by angels, including every blade of grass, every creature in the sea, and mankind as well. Because our powers of perception are severely limited, the power of the angels is as invisible as the force of gravity. The influence of both, however, is quite real. Everything positive that occurs in our lives is a direct result of positive angels. Likewise, all blockages, turmoil, difficulties, and distress are the result of the influence of negative angels. Our own behavior determines which angelic influences are aroused in the world. By reading this section, we are given access to the metaphysical network of angels. We gain the ability to remove negative angels and to bring positive angels into our lives. The verse, "Let the earth bring forth grass," is the secret of the lower union, as it is now revealing its powers in these waters that have been gathered in one place. The machin are drawn down into it in a concealed and a hidden manner, and from within it come forth supernal and concealed souls and holy hosts. These are formed and drawn, using the edifices of faith, by the righteous, the men of faith, namely the female waters, by worshipping their master. This is the secret of the verse, "who causes the grass to grow for the cattle." This is the living creature that crouches on 1,000 mountains, and for whom grass is grown every day. This grass refers to those angels who govern only for a specific time, but then must vanish immediately. Because they were created on the second day, their dominion draws upon the left column that was created on the second day. In their dominion they wish to annul the right. They are destined to be food for this living creature, which means that nothing of their illumination is drawn down to the lower beings. Only the female principle enjoys it, and then she burns and annuls them with it. As there is fire that consumes fire, which is the dominion of the left, called fire. In the verse, and plants for the service of man, the word plants refers to wheels, holy living creatures, and cherubs. The wheels, Hebe. Aphanim, are the angels of Isaiah, the holy living creatures are the angels of Yetzirah, and the cherubs are the angels of Briah. All of these are made ready and clothed by the Creator himself. However, they are further prepared when people worship their master with sacrifices and prayer. This is what is meant by the service of man. The plants were predestined and prepared for the service of man and will be further perfected by that service, as it should be. When they are made ready by the service of man, sustenance and food come from them to the world, as it is written, that he may bring forth food out of the earth it did. This is what is meant, herb yielding seed Beresheet 1:12, which is the secret of the mochin. The grass hay does not yield any seed, but is intended to be consumed by the sacred fire of the female principle, as explained above, whereas the herb, which yields seed, is intended for the improvement of the world. All this is to bring forth food out of the earth, because all the improvements given to people are only for the purpose of establishing this herb out of the earth, which is the female principle. Thus, people's service to their master is designed to supply sustenance and food from out of the earth to this world, so that people will be blessed from above. The verse, and fruit tree yielding fruit, alludes to two grades, one grade above another, which represent male and female. This means that the fruit tree is the female principle of Zir Anpin. Yielding fruit alludes to Yesod of Zir Anpin, which is male. It is said to be yielding fruit because all the fruit that the female yields reaches her from the male. Just as the fruit tree, which is the female principle, reveals the potential power that it received from the fruit tree yielding fruit, which is the male, so it reveals her own potential as well. He asks, what is revealed from the potential of the female principle herself? He replied, the cherubs and pillars are revealed from her own aspect. And he further asks, what are these pillars? And he replied, they are those that rise up in the smoke of the sacrifice and are become stronger because of the offering. They are called columns of smoke. This is the secret of the verse. Who is this coming out of the wilderness like columns of smoke. So the cherubs are the secret of the herb that she receives from the male, and the columns of smoke are the grass. The cherubs and pillars exist for the service of men, but not the grass, which is meant for food, as it is written, behold now animals, Heb. Behemoth, which I made with you, he eats grass like an ox. And fruit tree yielding fruit alludes to the forms of the male and female, and as for the likeness of their faces, they had the face of a man. The fruit tree is the female principle of Zir Anpin, and yielding fruit is Yesod of Zir Anpin, the male that puts the fruit inside her. The male and female are not like the cherubs, which are hinted at in the phrase, herb yielding seed. The male and female have large faces with beards, whereas the cherubs have small faces like those of babies. The face of man contains all the images, including the lion, the ox, and the eagle, since they have large faces. The engraved images are imprinted on this large face just as the engravings of the holy name are imprinted in the four directions of the world, east, west, north, and south. Michael made a mark on the south side, and all three other faces gazed toward the face of a man, the face of a lion, the face of an ox, and the face of an eagle. Michael is one of the four angels who serve the female principle of Zir Anpin. Therefore, he prepares the place for the mating, because, since he is the angel of Cheesed, he sketches the imprint to the south, which is to the right. Man is male and female, and he is not called man unless both are included. This means that Malchut on her own, when she is not mating with Zir Anpin, is not called man. Only when they are united are they called man. This is the secret of the verse. Male and female he created them, and blessed them, and called their name man. Beresheet 5:2. So accordingly, they were together called man, but each one alone is only half a body and cannot be called man. The figures of the chariot of Elohim are formed according to his image, namely from the face of a man, united on the south side. As it is written, the chariots of Elohim are twice 10,000, thousands upon thousands. Heb, Shinan. This is the secret of the lower chariot that is called the chariot of Elohim. The word Shinan consists of the letters Shin Nun Aleph Nun. Written in the scriptural verse, it includes all the images, all the living creatures, which include the ox, the eagle, and the lion. For the initials of these words form the Shin Nun Aleph of Shinan, and the final Nun in the word Shinan alludes to the face of a man that is included with them. This final Nun is the secret of the expansion of male and female that are united as one. Everyone in the worlds of Briah, Yetzirah, and Asiyah emerges from these living creatures, which are the secret of Shinan. From them, the forms of Briah, Yetzirah, and Asiyah are born and separated, each befitting its aspect. These living creatures are joined one to the other, so that each includes all the others. The ox, eagle, lion, and man are directed by the secret of the four engraved names, which are a great yell, a mighty, and a terrible, to which they ascend to behold them. The ox ascended to be guided by and to gaze on the face of a man. With the ox, one name rose that was crowned and engraved by the secret of the two colors, which represent the name El. After the ox was included in the name El, it turned back, and the throne, which is the female principle of Zir Anpin, inscribed it, engraved it, and received its imprint, so that it might be guided by the secret of the name El. Although the ox is of the left, it was nevertheless marked to be guided by the aspect of chassidim in the name El. The eagle ascended to be guided and to gaze on the face of a man. Another name rose up with it to be crowned and engraved according to the secret of the two faces, the face of man and the face of the eagle, and the two colors, the color of the right, which is white, and the color of the eagle, which is green, so as to be guided and gaze on the crown above. The name of it is Great. After this, the eagle returned, and the throne, which is the female principle, engraved and etched it. And the eagle was imprinted to be guided by the secret of this name, for the attributes of the eagle are similar to those of the name Great. The lion ascended to be guided and to gaze on the face of a man above. Another name rose up with it to be crowned and engraved by the secret of the two faces and the two colors, and to be strengthened and attached to Gvura. This is the name Mighty. Then it returned, and the throne, which is the secret of the female principle of Zir Anpin, engraved and etched it, and it was imprinted so as to be guided by the secret of this name Mighty. So that the attributes of the lion, which is to the right, be like the attributes of the name Mighty, and the lion will be guided by the attribute of Gvura. The face of a man gazed on all of them, on all the faces of the living creatures, and they all rose up and gazed on it. All have risen to the face of a man above in the supernal chariot, because it does not exist below. Then they were all depicted together in an engraving according to this drawing by the secret of a certain name, which is terrible. It is written about the living creatures. As for the likeness of their faces, they had the face of a man, because they were all included within this image of man, and this image included them. According to this secret, the Holy One, blessed be He, is called a Great El, Mighty, and Terrible. These names are engraved above by the secret of the upper chariot, which comprises 4 letters of the name Yud He Vav He, which is a name that includes all the other names. The combining of the lower ox within the upper lion is equivalent to the letter Yud of Yud Hei Vav Hei, and is the secret of the name El. The combining of the lower lion within the upper ox is equivalent to the letter Hei, and is the secret of the name Mighty. The combining of the lower eagle within the upper lion is equivalent to the letter Vav, and is the secret of the name Great. And the face of a man of above, which includes all the living creatures from below that have ascended to it, is equivalent to the lower Hei of Yud Hei Vav Hei, and is the secret of the name Terrible. These images, the ox, eagle, lion, and man, are engraved and carved on the throne, which is the female principle of Zir Anpin, and the throne is carved and decorated by them. And these likenesses were embroidered on the throne, one on the right, one on the left, one on the front, and one on the back, thus corresponding to the 4 directions of the world. The face of the lion is imprinted on the right, which is the south wind, the face of the ox on the left, which is the north wind, the face of the eagle on the front, which is the east wind, and the face of a man on the back, which is the west wind. This is the secret of the 4 letters of Yud Hei Vav Hei. When the throne, which is the female principle of Zir Anpin, ascends to unite with Zir Anpin, it is imprinted with these 4 images, ox, eagle, lion, and man. These 4 supernal names carry the throne up to unite with Zir Anpin, and the throne, namely the female principle, becomes included within them during the union. This means that she is completed by and with these names. The throne collects and gleans, by its union with Zir Anpin, souls and delightful pleasures. When it has collected and gleaned these delights and pleasures, it descends full, like a tree with branches on all sides and laden with fruit. As the throne descends from the place of union to its own place, the images of the four living creatures come forth, each shaped in its own form and engraving, illuminating, shining and radiating. They scatter seed over the world. Thus they are called the herb-yielding seed, and herb alludes to the living creatures that sow the world with seed. When the image of a man, which includes all the other images, issues forth, it is described as fruit tree yielding fruit after its kind. Because man is both male and female, the fruit tree is the female and yielding fruit applies to the male. The phrase, whose seed is in itself, upon the earth teaches us that he emitted his seed for the benefit of the earth alone. So the phrase, whose seed is in itself, is purposely said to teach us that man should not emit his seed in vain. The herb which appears in the verse, let the earth bring forth grass, herb-yielding seed does not yield seed. Because of this, it has no permanency and does not last like the others. This is because it has no image to be shaped and engraved into any sort of likeness or form. Instead, they are seen and not seen. All those that have not been shaped into a form or an image have no permanency. They are created and last only for a certain time and are immediately consumed by the fire that devours fire, as already explained. Then they are again created and are immediately consumed by the fire that consumes fire. This is repeated again and again every day. A human being below in this world has an image and a form, but he does not last forever, as do those of the angels above. The form and image of the angels above are formed in their shape without any other covering. Because of this, they are everlasting. The image of man in this world below, referring to the Nefesh, Ruach and Neshama, is shaped into its form only by a covering. Because of this, man lasts only for a certain, limited period. Every night when a man sleeps, his spirit removes the covering and ascends. This fire that consumes fire, namely the female principle of Zir Anpin, consumes and burns this spirit. Later, the spirits are resurrected and reshaped in their coverings as before. Because of this, the spirits have no permanent existence, as do the images above, which is a reference to the angels of the herb, but are burned and then renewed as before. About this, it is written, they are new every morning, which refers to the spirits of human beings, which are renewed daily. What is the purpose of this renewal? The verse concludes, great is your faithfulness, so it is great and not small. The phrase, great is your faithfulness, means that it is for certain that the faithfulness or faith, which is the female principle, is great. She is able to receive all the souls of the world and include them, the upper and the lower souls, in herself. The female principle is a great and large space that includes everything and is never full. This is the secret of the verse, all the rivers run into the sea, yet the sea is not full. The female principle is called the sea and the rivers are the souls. So the verse actually means that all the souls flow into the female principle, yet she is not full. And the reason she is not yet full is because the souls run into the sea, which receives them and burns them inside it. Because of this, the sea is not yet full. Afterward, the sea restores the souls to their former state and they come into this world. This is why the verse reads, great is your faithfulness. On this day, the third day, it is written twice that it was good. This day is associated with two sides, the right column and the left column. It told each side that it was good, thereby reconciling the discord between them. This is why the phrase, and said, appears twice in it. Herein lies the secret of the name that is formed with the four letters, yet HEI Vav HEI inscribed and engraved. These can add up to 12 letters that represent the four images on all four sides of the holy throne, which is the female principle of Zir Anpin. According to the Zohar, it is at this point in the process of creation that the children's disease called croup was brought forth into existence. This disease is governed by Lilith, a particularly negative female angel whose name we do not pronounce. She has the ability to remove children, heaven forbid, from our physical realm, if there is an opportunity to do so. Through the Hebrew letters, we draw the power of protection for our children. And Elohim said, let there be light. The word Miorat is written here with defective spelling without the letter Vav. This means that the children's disease, croup, diphtheria, was created, because without Vav, Miorat means curses, as in the verse. The curse of Hashem is in the house of the wicked. 4. After the illumination of the primordial light was concealed, the skull, Hebrew meaning klippa, of the brain was created. This klippa expanded and brought forth another klippa. As soon as the klippa went forth, it ascended and descended until it reached the small face. It wanted to cleave to it and become part of its form. It refused completely to be separated from it. When the Holy One, blessed be He, created Adam, He separated it from there, and the klippa descended below to the level of Malchut only, in order to fix it in this world, on the level of Malchut alone and not above it. When the klippa saw Eve clinging to the side of Adam, who represented the beauty of above, and saw in them the complete form, it flew up from its place at the level of Malchut and wanted to cling to the small faces of Adam and Eve as before. However, the guards at the gates did not allow the klippa to cling to them. The Holy One, blessed be He, scolded it and cast it into the depths of the sea. The klippa sat there in the depth of the sea until Adam and his wife sinned. Then the Holy One, blessed be He, took the klippa out from the depths of the sea. It took control over all those babies. WHO are the small faces of people who deserve punishment for the sins of their fathers. It wandered around the world, approached the gates of the terrestrial Garden of Eden, saw the cherubs guarding the gates of the garden, and sat down near the bright blade of the sword from which it had originally emerged. When the bright blade of the revolving sword changed to judgment, the klippa fled and wandered around the world, and found babies due to be punished. It is called the bright blade of a revolving sword, because it revolves and changes back and forth between mercy and judgment. The klippa laughed with the babies and then killed them. It did this during the waning of the moon, as its light diminished. This is why Meorot is spelled without the letter Vav, which means curses. When Cain was born, the klippa was unable to cling to him, but later it approached him, cleaved to him, and bore from him spirits and flying spirits. Adam had intercourse with female spirits for 130 years until Nama came. Because of her beauty, she led the sons of Elohim, Azza, and Azil astray. She bore them all sorts of new kinds of klippa. Evil spirits and demons spread out from her into the world. They wander around the world during the night, deriding human beings and causing nocturnal pollution. Wherever they find men sleeping alone in their own homes, they hover over them and cling to them, arousing lustful desires and having offspring by them. When the moon is restored, the letters Mem Aleph Resh Tav in the word Meorot, which means curses, are turned into Aleph Mem Resh Tav Imrit. This is according to the secret of the verse, the word of Hashem is tried. He is a shield to all those who trust in Him. He is a shield for all those who hold fast to their faith in the Holy One. Blessed be He, against all those evil spirits and prosecutors who wander through the world at the time the light of the moon is diminishing. King Solomon penetrated the depth of the secret of the nut. As it is written, I went down into the garden of nuts. He took hold of the shell, klippa, of the nut and looked at all its layers. He came to realize that the main pleasure of the spirits in the shell of the nut was just to cling to human beings and defile them. As it is written, and the delights of the sons of men, women vary. Many. This means that the demons take pleasure only in human beings. This verse also means that male and female demons are born from the pleasure human beings enjoy during their sleep at night. It was necessary for the Holy One, blessed be He, to create and supply the world with everything, including the klippot, so everything can be compared to the nut. Just as the inner part of the nut is surrounded by many layers of shells, the inner parts of all the worlds are similarly surrounded by many layers above and below in the supernal worlds and in this world, as will be explained. From the beginning of the secret of the supernal point, which is Eric Ampin, to the end of all grades, they are all intertwined, so each and every one is a klippa to the other. A klippa is like a covering or an outer layer, just as a shell is a covering for a fruit. The primal point, which is Eric Ampin, is the internal light, whose purity, translucency, and cleanness are beyond comprehension. When the expansion spreads beyond Eric Ampin, which is the point, this expansion of that point becomes a chamber for the purpose of covering that point. The light of that point is incomprehensible because of its great purity. The chamber, namely ABA and IMA, which covers the concealed point, which is Eric Ampin, is a light that has no limits. This means that the light of the chamber is also unknown and inconceivable. Nevertheless, it is not as pure and subtle as the light of the primal point, Eric Ampin, which is hidden and concealed. This chamber issues forth an expansion of the primal light, as it is written, and Elohim said, "Let there be light." And there was light. This expansion, Yisrael, Saba, and Tevana, is a covering for that pure and subtle chamber, namely Aba and Ima, which is more internal than Yisrael, Saba, and Tevuna. From here on, Yisrael, Saba, and Tevuna expanded each one within the other and became enclosed by each other until all the grades enclosed one another. One was the inner part and the other the outer layer. Though one is a garment in relation to what is above it has also become the inner aspect of another grade, a grade that is below it. So Aba and Ima, which are considered a garment for Eric Anpin, became the inner part and internal aspect of Yisrael, Saba, and Tevuna. Thus, Yisrael, Saba, and Tevuna, which form a garment for Aba and Ima, became the inner part for Zir Anpin. Thus, Zir Anpin, which is a garment for Yisrael, Saba, and Tevuna, became the inner part for his female principle. The same thing occurred below in the lower worlds of Briah, Yetzirah, and Asiah. The female principle of Atzilut is enclosed within Briah, and Briah within Yetzirah, and Yetzirah within Asiah. Accordingly, the Neshama in a man is enclosed within the Ruach, and the Ruach within the Nefesh, and the physical body. In this image, the human being exists in this world with an inner part and an outer shell, which correspond to a spirit and a body. All this is for the perfection of the world. When the moon was united with the sun, the moon had its own light. But after the moon was separated from the sun, it descended to the world of Briah and was placed in charge of the hosts of Briah. It belittled itself and diminished its own light. So clipet upon clipet were created, one above the other, to conceal the inner part. All this occurred to complete the light of the inner part, because without a shell no fruit can be had. This is the reason why it is written, "Let there be luminaries," which means a curse, because of the clipet that emerged due to the diminution of the light of the moon. All this was done for the perfection of the world. Therefore it is written, "To give light upon the earth," as these clipet emerged in the secret of the shell that precedes the fruit. The Zohar discusses the creation of the sun and the moon, which originally were of equal size and importance. But the moon was not content, and she cast a jealous eye on her cosmic neighbor. As a result of her envy of the sun's illumination, the moon was eventually reduced in both size and significance. Henceforth, the moon would have no light of her own. Instead, she must reflect the light of the sun. Here the Zohar reveals a profound secret of human nature. This is the origin of the trait known as hatred for no reason. Sometimes we are envious of our neighbor's possessions even if we possess exactly the same things. Instead of appreciating our lot in life, we begrudge the lot of others, even though it in no way diminishes our own. In Kabbalah, the reduction of the moon symbolizes the separation between the male and female aspects of the Creator. This manifests as the separation of the spiritual dimension Zir Anpin, or the upper world, and the physical realm of Malchut, or the lower world. Just as the moon's light is derived from the sun, Malchut's light is drawn from the world of Zir Anpin. Through positive deeds and actions and the removal of our jealous nature, we can unify these two dimensions and create a flow of light into our lives. Reading this section gives us the ability to bring about this unity when we recite our prayers and perform the necessary spiritual actions. And Elohim made the two great luminaries. And made signifies the greatness and the full establishment of everything as it should be. The phrase, "the two great luminaries," indicates that the two great luminaries, which are Zir Anpin and his female principle, were united at first. This is the secret of the full name Yud He Vav He, Elohim, which although not openly revealed can be surmised. So the two great luminaries appear in a full name, even though the name Elohim shines only in a concealed way. The word great means that by this name, Zir Anpin and his female principle grew in greatness as equals. So much so that they were called by the name that unites everything together, which is Memtsadi Peitzadi Memtsadi Peitzadi. Zir Anpin received his greatness from the right one, his female principle from the left one. In such a way, they are referred to as the two great luminaries. These are the most supernal names that precede the 13 attributes of mercy. The names Mem Tzadi Pe Tzadi Mem Tzadi Pe Tzadi are called great, because they became great and ascended, since they are supernal and derived from the secret of above. They benefit the world, as the world's existence depends on them. Similarly, the two luminaries that appear in the verse, which are Zir Anpin and his female principal, both rose as one, in one greatness. The moon was not at ease with the sun because she felt embarrassed before it. The moon said to the sun, "Where do you feed your flock? Why do you make your flock to rest at noon?" This is as if to say, how can a tiny candle shine in the middle of the day? Why should I be like one who cloaks himself? That is, how can I remain in shame? Then she lowered herself to be head of the lower beings. As it is written, "Go your way forth by the footsteps of the flock." Thus the Holy One, blessed be He, said to her, "Go and diminish yourself." From then on, she had no light of her own. She had only the light she received from the sun. At first they were united as one on the same level, but she later lowered herself from all of its grades. This means that It lost all her grades and emerged from the world of Atzilut. Although she is the head of the lower worlds of Briah, Yetzirah and Asiyah, she is nevertheless considered to have lost all her grades, as in principle a woman has no significance unless she is together with her husband. In other words, because the female principal is separated from Zir Anpin, her husband, and has left the world of Atzilut to go to that of Briah, she has brought about the loss of all her grades. Even though she has become head in the world of Briah, she does not consider this to be significant because she is separated from her husband. Who is in the world of Atzilut. The phrase, "the greater luminary," alludes to Zir Anpin. Who is called by the name Yud He Vav He. The lesser luminary alludes to the female principle, which is called by the name Elohim, the last of the grades, and an end to thought, namely, an end to the world of Atzilut that is called thought. At first, the female principle was inscribed above in Zir Anpin in the fourth letter of the holy name Yud He Vav He, because the female is the lower Hei. In other words, when she was on the same level with Zir Anpin, she was the lower Hei of the name Yud Hei Vav Hei. But afterwards she lowered herself to be called by the name Elohim. In spite of all this, the female principle ascended on all sides and shone in all directions from above, that is, before she diminished herself, and when she was the lower He in the assembling of the letters of the holy name, Yud Hei Vav Hei. Later, when she belittled herself, the grades expanded out from all sides, which means that she shone from the aspect of being before the lower Hei of Yud Hei Vav Hei, and also from the aspect of being now, name Elohim. The grades that expanded from the aspect of her being above, from the lower Hei of Yud Hei Vav Hei, are called the rule of the day. The grades that expanded from the aspect of her being below, from the name Elohim, are called the rule of the night. The words the stars allude to countless hosts and groups of angels, who are all suspended in that firmament of heaven that is Yesod of Zir Anpin and is called life of the worlds, as it is written, and Elohim set them in the firmament of heaven to give light upon the earth. The kingdom of the house of David was established on this day, the fourth day, which is the fourth leg that supports the throne. It happened on the fourth day because the letters were completed and fixed in their places properly. In spite of all this, Malchut, kingdom, was not fixed properly in its place before the sixth day, because only then was the image of man completed and properly established. On the sixth day, the upper throne and the lower throne were established, and all the world settled in their places. All the letters were set in their spheres after untying and releasing the complicated knot that existed among the letters. The fourth day, which is the kingdom of David, was rejected by the builders, as it is written, "The stone which the builders rejected, and also my mother's children were angry with me." For this light, referring to Malchut, lowered itself and diminished its own radiance while the Klippot were established in their places. This gave place to the emerging of the Klippot and their rule. Thus she seemed loathsome in the eyes of the righteous that built It. Only later, when she was completed and ready for union with Zir Anpin, was It said she has become the headstone of the corner. All those lights that shone during the 6,000-year period were suspended in this firmament of heaven to establish with them the throne of David, namely, the kingdom, Malchut, of David. These lights of the kingdom of David create the form below in order to prepare the form of all those that pertain to the inner form of the face of a man, because every inner form is so called, namely, the face of a man. From this, you should realize that every shape included in this expansion of the letter final nun is called man, even though they do not actually have the face of a man. Hence, it is written, "But you are men." You are called men, but not the rest of the idolatrous nations. Every spirit is called man, which means that only the aspect of the light of the spirit that is enclosed within the body is called man. So the body of the spirit of the holy side is only a garment. In other words, the spirit is the actual essence of man and the body is only its covering. But on the other side, the opposite applies. This is why it is written, "You have clothed me with skin and flesh." The flesh of man is only a garment covering the essence of man, which is the spirit. Wherever it is written the flesh of man, it hints that the essence of man is inside. The flesh is only a vestment for man, a body for him, but the essence of man is the aspect of his spirit. For the lower aspects were melted with the melting of the spirit of the face of man, and other forms were fashioned, enclosed in a different kind of garment, not by that of man, but of kosher animals. These include ox, sheep, goats, kids of the goats, rams, deer, fallow deer, and so on. They would have preferred to be included in the vestment of the face of a man, but were not. They became vestments for others, namely, garments for the face of an ox, the face of an eagle, and the face of a lion. The inner spirit of the ox, sheep, and goat is called by the same name as the body of that spirit, because the body is a vestment for that name, but does not own it. The body is the flesh of the ox, and the ox is the inner spirit of that body, namely, its flesh is its garment. So it is with all animals, their bodies are named after the inner spirit that is enclosed within them. It is similar with the other side, which is not holy. The spirit that spreads within the idolatrous nations issues from the side that is not holy, and is not the aspect of man. Therefore, it is not called by this name, as has been written, "But you are men." The name of this spirit is defiled. It is not called man and has no share in him, because it extends from the wicked man, literally. Man without elevation, who does not want to ascend to the face of man above. So his body, the vestment of his spirit, is impure, and his flesh is defiled. The impure part, which is the spirit, is on the inside, and the flesh is his vestment. As long as the spirit dwells within that body, it is considered defiled. As the spirit leaves that vestment, namely the body, neither the body nor the vestment is called impure any longer, as the impure one, that is the spirit, has departed from it, from the lower aspects, referring to animals, beasts, and birds that were molded into shape by that impure spirit, forms, namely private spirits, were drawn out. These were enclosed by other vestments, such as the forms of impure animals, and the Torah said of them, "These shall be unclean to you." These forms include pigs and the birds and animals that belong to the other side. The spirit is called by that name, that is, defiled, and the body is its vestment. The body is called the flesh of the pig, because it is a pig in its inner being, in its spirit, while the flesh is a garment covering that spirit. Therefore, both aspects, those included within the secret of man and those included with the secret of the impure, are separated from and oppose each other. On the side of holiness are the spirit of man in general, and the spirits of pure animals, beasts, and fowl, which are the particular. From the side of wicked man is the impure wicked man, which is considered the general aspect, and the spirits of impure animals, beasts, and fowl that are the particulars. They oppose each other. Every kind of animal stays with its own kind and does not mix with the opposite kind. Even if it does, it eventually returns to its own kind. All the upper shining lights shine within that firmament of heaven, so that proper forms may be drawn down below, as it is written, "And Elohim set them in the firmament of heaven, to rule over the day and over the night." For the dominion of the two lights is a proper dominion. The phrase, "the greater light," namely Zeir Anpin, rules the day, and the lesser luminary, which is his female principle, rules the night. The secret learned from here is that the male rules by day and fills up the house with all that is needed, such as food and sustenance. As soon as night falls and the female takes command, everything in the house falls under her control, because then it is time for her dominion. As it is written, "She rises also while it is yet night and gives food to her household, she and not he." So the female principle, not Zeir Anpin, gives at night, as the dominion over the day belongs to the male and the dominion over the night belongs to the female. The greater luminary is the sun, which has 12 openings and 12 hours, as the sun rules over the day. The lesser luminary is the moon, which also has 12 openings. The moon rules over the night, which has 12 hours. For this reason, it is written, "On that day Hashem shall be one, and his name one." One is mentioned twice. Once for Yud Hei Vav Hei. Who is Zir Anpin, the greater luminary, and once of his name, which is the female, the lesser luminary. The sun together with its 12 openings becomes the 13 attributes of mercy. The moon together with its 12 openings also adds up to 13. So the sun becomes one and the moon becomes one. Then it says, Hashem shall be one, and his name one, because the numerical value of Echid, 1, adds up to 13. Thus, the sun and the moon become one, and the day and night also become one. This is why it is written, and there was evening and there was morning one day. The secret of this union is only applicable on high. The verse, and the stars means that after the female has attained order in her house and retired with her husband, the maidens are left in charge of the house. The maidens who serve the female are called the stars. And the secret of the phrase "and the stars" is that the feminine principle turns control of the house over to them to deal with all the requirements of the house. That is, to prepare her for mating with the sun and to bestow the abundance of the day. This is during the darkness before dawn, when the maidens, the stars, rule, which is an inferior rule. Then darkness is doubled in the world. This is the secret meaning of a portion to her maidens. Afterward, that is, after the mating in the darkness of the morning before dawn breaks, the household returns to the dominion of the male during the day and everything is set properly in place. This means that the female is included within the male according to the secret of the mating and is under his control. She reveals the light of the morning to the world, as it should be.